Hi, I'm Shannon Grissom. Are you looking to ignite your creativity? Or how about be inspired by a steady stream of muses? Welcome to Painterly Life, the podcast that celebrates those who create, inspire, and innovate. So whether you're looking to spark your next big idea, reignite your passion, or simply soak in some creative energy, this is the place for you. Painterly Life, where every guest is a new muse just for you. Welcome to Painterly Life. Today's guest is Gina Mims. Gina is a painterly powerhouse. She is the owner of Inspiro Brands. She's an award-winning artist, graphic designer, community leader, and a huge visionary. So welcome, Gina.
Well, thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Yay. So what's the weather like over there? Is it snowing or?
No rain, no snow. No, we've had no winter. We're going straight into spring. So there's that.
I like that. That's happy. So I noticed you're from Orange County, California. And how did you come from Orange County up to the Sierra Foothills, the mountains near Yosemite?
So our family had been coming up to Bass Lake for, this next summer will be 83 years.
Wow.
And so this is about, 12 years ago now. We were up here and camping, and it's just beautiful. We love it up here. And Zillow works. So we started kind of poking around for houses. And realistically, one of the selling points of us moving here was that there was such a great art community. And we went to the Gertrude Schoolhouse that had a fabulous artist who was showing there. He told us about Sierra Art Trails, and, Yosemite Sierra artist was a Western artist at the time. And without that, I don't know if I'd be here. But the fact that there was such a great art community was really important to me. And in Orange County, before we left, I had been I was an art major, and then I had my business and I hadn't painted in a while. So I really wanted to get back into that. So I was looking into Laguna, and they're like, oh, you have to be, vetted in and so special. And everybody here is so welcoming and just, creative. So there's no judgment. So that's how we got here, was this community and the beauty of the area.
And now you own a gallery. So tell me about that.
So that happened a little bit in a good way, bad way, because I had done all the branding for Okurs Spirits Distillery, and Allie was an artist. They had moved here from San Diego, and they started the distillery, and she had a gallery. And then she passed of cancer. So I helped sell all of her art supplies off, and I was working with Mike, the owner, and then the space was just sitting there empty, and I'm like, can I rent this little part? I just want that little back part. And then, I have this idea of, well, let's do rotating shows in the front. So I started doing, guest artists in the front for Yosemite Sierra artists, because I was president or vice president, I don't know at the time. I've been at every role on that board ever. And then I realized it was kind of like herding cats. And then finally, I had that, and COVID happened. For Inspiro Brands, I do graphic design for restaurants, and all of my restaurants shut down for like 6 months. So I just painted and painted and painted. So then I had a lot of artwork. So then I took over a whole gallery. So I love having the space. I've been there for almost 3.5 years. And I love having, right now all of my art is in it, which is nice, but I'm also doing Oakurst Art and Wine Hop. So for 6 of those months, I'll have guest artists. And I'm also having rotating shows. We'll have Visions of Self, which is a women's show. And so that's March. And then in April, I get to do a nudes show. So I get, not many people do nudes. I don't know what the hang up is, but we're doing nudes. So it's fun to have that space. And because I work from home for, what I call my grown-up job, nice to get out and be able to be in that space too.
Well, it's great how you've been able to merge the two. I'd like to hear about how your business life has influenced your success. So you've had tremendous success as a visual artist. So how has that helped?
Well, I think because I do brand development and marketing for my clients, I think a lot of people, they like to paint or create, but they don't like to market. And so being able to go, hey, I like to market, I can do that. That definitely helps. And I think that also having a community together, we have Yosemite Syrup artists and we have a large group of people. A lot of the work that I do are like restaurant events. So I do an event called Pacific Wine and Food Classic, which is 500 people, and it's doing the marketing for, getting people there. And, so, doing other events, it's similar. It's definitely, just still inviting people to show up and have a good party. And that's what I like. Anytime I can have a good party, I'm in. So
you're all over it.
Yeah. So truthfully, I paint for my own therapy because, I'm deadline driven. Everything I do is always like, hey, we need it today. It's got to be done at this time. So to be honest, I don't know if I love to paint and I love to do all of this, but I don't know if I'd ever do it full time because it takes away from the get to do and it becomes a have to do. And so my big epiphany for the new year was just goal setting and, thinking, oh, who do I want to be when I grew up? And one of the things I really realized is you can do art until the day you die. You can, as long as your body works. A lot of artists start at 50. A lot of artists, they're still working at 90. So you can have multiple careers and you can only get better the more you do it. So I feel like there's no pressure to I have to be successful in, X amount of time. So a lot of what I'm doing is helping other people kind of elevate their art at the same time. I'm even starting a little mastermind group of 12 people and it's elevate art. So yeah, I'm
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm a little all over the place with what I like to do. But again, it's for the bigger picture. It's, not a short-term game.
Well, it's all interrelated. I talked about you being a visionary. I know that you're instrumental at Yosemite Syrup Artists is a tremendously successful, vibrant organization, and you had a huge part as president and all the other positions that you've had over the years of keeping, not only invigorating it, but just keeping it going. And your latest venture, which just amazes me, you're just doing so much, is the Oakurst Art Hop. And I would love to hear about that. Can you tell us about that, your brainchild there?
Yes. So those are, again, fun, like, hey, we should do kind of things. And I think a lot of people say, I want to do. Downside is I go, hey, let's do it. So I don't say much because, that's, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right. And so I was sitting at Yosemite Wine Tales, having my glass of wine, and I mentioned it to Colette, the owner, and she's one of these squirrel brain people as well. So he's like, what if, we added wine to the art hop? And so we're like, ooh, I like that. So then the visitor center is trying to figure out how to save the trolley in town. So then we added the trolley. So now it's an art hop where there's 9 stops and you get to get your wine glass, jump on the trolley for free. Your wine glass is $20 and it includes tastings at each of the locations and everybody gets to see art. So that's May through October, which is, we're by Yosemite, which is the busy season. And, again, my goal is to really help everybody have a place to show and reason to create. Because what happens is, I want to, do a photograph or a painting, and then you build up this body of work. But if you don't have a place to show, it ends up under your bed or in a garage or, it gets grumpy if it can't breathe. It's like, I want to be able to, hang out and show people. So the nice thing is there's, a couple of the places you can show for a full month and, kind of need to be a little juried in for those locations, but there's some others for people who are just starting out that are just pop-ups for a day. So I really want it to be all inclusive for anybody who kind of wants to play. So that's the goal, is to have enough, so that there's a lot to do, but it's not this overwhelming where you miss a lot. So this year we're doing it again. We're just doing a call for artists right now and looking for, new food trucks to show up and, some live music. And so each time, there's always the build and, what's next and fun and different. So I love a good party. Let's be clear.
I love how that you've integrated having a good party into sharing it with everybody. It's just great.
Yeah. Downside of this is if you do it too well, then you get sucked into other things. So yeah. And now I don't know if I'm now the banner art coordinator. We have a banner project in town too. And because, you jump in and helped with all of that. So now I'm chairperson for that as well. So I'm kind of merging the two. I'm making sure that the deadlines are similar. So you're asking the same people. So we're making a lot of opportunities for people to play.
So what inspires you the most? What really gets you going?
To do art, I'm very yay, I have a goal. And then in this last couple months, I've had family issues. So that kind of takes you down. So I find that ramping back up is sometimes hard, but knowing that, that's kind of why I did Art Hop as well, because I have a goal to rotate art and have something new. And then we have CR Art Trails. So CR Art Trails is our big, in October, I want to have a new body of work each October for that. So I'm definitely deadline driven. Yeah. So I love where we live and it's beautiful. And then we travel this next week. I'm going to Hawaii. So, to be able to create from that. And then we're by the coast. So create from that. So a lot of it is creating, what you feel and kind of capturing that. Everything that I do, I call Serenity Scapes for the most part. They're, kind of impressionist landscapes where they're, you can tell where they are if you ask. But if somebody says, "Hey, is that Lake so-and-so?" Mike, the owner of the gallery, says, you just tell them yes. Yeah, that lake is what you just said it was. Yeah, they're all a little bit of everything. It's my favorite. I like this tree over here and that mountain over there. So a lot of it's out of my mind, but inspired by nature.
So do you get out and plein air paint, or do you prefer being in the studio?
I wish I could plein air paint more. I still have my clients during the day and our group that does plein air, which is an amazing group, but it's the, Wednesday in the middle of the day. So I try to get out about, 3 times. I give myself 3 times a year at least. And there's a plein air paint out in Mariposa. That's a brand new event. And I'm excited that, I feel like everybody, if we're doing stuff on this side, then not that it's competition, but it inspires you to hey, we should do something too. So they're doing a plein air paint out. They even got it in Plein Air magazine, which is huge.
That is huge.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do that one. And that's a fun, they're just painting the town and there's, hotel stays, there's, restaurant recommendations. So if anybody's interested, right now, I want to say it's only $55, but it'll go up a little bit. And there's also Penny Otwell, who's an amazing artist, is doing a workshop. There's a couple other artists who are doing workshops as well. So it's a fun one.
Sounds like a great opportunity.
Yeah. So to do plein air sometimes, but I mostly finish in the studio.
Yeah, it sounds like me. So for somebody starting out, what advice would you give somebody new just getting their creativity vibe on, what would you recommend?
I would say classes. When I was an art major and I didn't paint for 20 years. So it's one of those things like you really use it or lose it, but it does come back. So classes are definitely a good starter. There's a lot of classes online. Even Jed Dorsey is doing an acrylic challenge. So I've signed up for that. It's 3 days and he's showing everything you can learn and it's free. But each time, you can try before you buy. So I'm sure at the end, he's going to say, okay, now, Acrylic University is X amount. But there's so many YouTube videos and online Streamline has a ton of videos. So if you can't find somebody in person to learn from, definitely that, or even community center will have classes. So, and then just not caring. They think everybody wants this. You can see it in your head and your hands aren't there yet. So what do they call it? 10,000 rush hours or whatever,
Yeah.
It's true. Even I've been painting again for 10 years and I'm still taking classes. I'm still watching videos. I'm still trying new things because again, if you're going to do it for another 30 years, you have to learn something new, right?
So what would you say along those lines? Life happens to all of us. What do you do to get unstuck? What do you do to lift yourself out of whatever funk is going on?
My main go-to is travel
Yeah.
because I find that even if I don't think, like I'm not going to do anything, I'm grumpy, you go and you start seeing things in a different way. So a lot of that is, just getting out of your funk. And I do also have podcasts that I listen to. I have, it's Creative Pep Talk. And I like that one. I'll drive because a lot of times I'm driving and I listen to that on both sides because I get in the same, creativity on, doing, whether I'm doing logos and, marketing, it's still creative. So I love that podcast because it speaks to if you're a musician, if you're an artist, if you're, even a stand-up comedian. It's a lot of fun tips that way. So that's my cheater. And I have a couple other, I like Eric Rhodes to listen to as far as, when you need the little marketing push. Because, I can create, but, then I get do I really have to sell it? Do I really have to do parts work?
Wouldn't
Yes.
it be nice if we had peeps for that, right?
Yes. Yeah. But a lot of galleries, they don't want you to do it. And then, but you don't have that control. So I would rather have the control. You can tell I'm a kind of a control freak here.
A common thread. So what's next for you? What do you have coming up this year?
Well, I've kind of given myself, because what happened last year is I was so focused on Art and Wine Hop. And then I know by taking on this banner project as well, and I've got a painting started. We have the Visions of Self. So that's on my easel at the moment. I'm doing a mermaid for my nudes show.
How fun.
Sketch out. And that's fun. I've bought new inks that I'm trying that are metallic. And so those are my little, I really this is a weird one, but I read a book, it's Colleen Hoover, and I just popped in my head, sorry, about getting stuck. I've been trying this is just kind of keeping something on your easel that is just an experiment. So my mermaid's going to be my experiment for a bit. But Colleen Hoover, I don't know if she wrote the Ends With Us book series, and she wrote this book that is called Too Late, but she was just writing it when she was having writer's block. So it was her go-to just to have there, and, whenever she's stuck on this one, go over here. So that's my thing, is to give myself something always on my easel that I can go to. So you ready? Whether I do this or not, I felt really bad this year because I didn't get my mom's calendar done. I've been doing a calendar with all my paintings every year for my mom. Didn't get one done because I was doing Art Hop and I didn't create much. So I've given myself a calendar challenge to have something on my easel and have one painting done once a month for my mom's calendar. And then I'm going to do it as a series for Yosemite or for Sierra Art Trails and put calendars together. And so that's my again, goal, deadline driven challenge for myself. So that's what I'm up to.
That's a great goal. And I love having something on the easel that you don't have a vested interest in. I have what I call throw up paintings. And if I'm feeling I paint every day, but there are times when things just don't work, or you're not feeling good, or you don't even feel like it. But I mean, I get inspired, but some days you just don't have it. So anyway, I know better than to approach a serious work. We have serious work. We have off the wall work. We have all kinds of different work, but I know better than to approach something that I really got my heart and soul into when I'm feeling that way. So I just work on the throw up painting, and sometimes it works and sometimes it needs to be thrown out or painted over or whatever. So I love that you just keep going. That's just great advice, Gina.
Yeah. The other thing I'm going to do this year is I have a tendency to squirrel brain. I have way work. And for my art and my easel, I do have an easel in my office as well as my gallery, and it sits there and it talks to me. So to compartmentalize my day. So, this time to this time is business, and like 3 to 6, 3 to 7 every day to do art. But with that same caveat it's like going to the gym, I'm going to go to the gym, but sometimes you're not in the mood. I'm just going to go walk at the treadmill. If you can get yourself there, then other things happen. But if you can't get yourself foot in the door, you're not going to do anything. So to kind of make myself, 2-3 hours a day. And if you're not feeling it, do the marketing. If you're not feeling it, watch a video, whatever it is. But to block out that time, because I'm finding that, I had taken Christmas off and dealing with family stuff, was getting back into it is hard. Mm-hmm. So staying consistent with it, once I'm back in it, I love it. But getting back to it, there's a little track there.
There's that. All right. Well, we're getting ready to wrap up. Do you have any parting words or things that you'd like to share?
Can't think of anything except for if you're ever in the Yosemite area, come visit me. I'm at the gallery at Oakurst Spirits.
And where can we find you online?
So GinaMimsArt.com. And then I'm on Instagram and Facebook. Facebook is the Gina Mims Art is my business page. I also have my other hey, you want to come see where I'm traveling? And what my family looks like. That's the other one. So, yeah. And LinkedIn if you need any graphic design for a restaurant. Then OakurstArtHop.com is, come hop on a trolley, drink some wine, and, see some art.
That's great. We will put all of those links in the show notes so that you guys can easily find Gina. Well, thanks for being here, Gina. Just a pleasure always to talk with you. And thanks to you for tuning in to Painterly Life. We hope you enjoyed the show and got inspired. And if you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.